it wasn't easy at first, of course. You reach out to a lot of people, and because it's a very new idea, not a lot of people were actually very receptive at the start. But the moment we had the proof of concept in the market, right, things actually got easier. So we have had collaboration beers. We have done a Kayato Stout with another brewery. So that brewery focuses on the very like the very their beer focuses mainly on local palate. So they have done like oolong beer, chrysanthemum beer, right? And then we focus more on like the bread and like the more sustainable angle. So then then after we came up with how do we bring both brands into a beer, right? And Kayato Stout was a perfect example. What we wanted to do was like your morning breakfast of Kaya toast and coffee, just reimagine at night. So that was the whole idea behind the thought process for that. We have worked with Tiong Bahru Bakery as well. So we actually use their surplus baguette for a beer, and it's co-branded. And the beer name is Beerget. So yeah, and then we have done a plant-based beer with Edible Garden City and Urban Farm in Singapore. And then we have actually partnered with Sherlyn Market Singapore as well, just to do a mango beer. So yeah, so those are the ones. When I started out just for the CRUST standalone brand, Maison Kaiser was our main bread sponsor. Right now we have Red Mart as our main surplus ingredients partner. So all our surplus ingredients for our standalone brand, we actually get it from Red Mart. So yeah, I mean, with regards to like having support, right? Or to be very honest, we would not have reached this far without like the support that we got actually. So when we started out, we actually got the Singapore Startup SG grant. So that actually helped us scale by a little bit. And yeah, I mean, we are in a couple of accelerator programs right now, which is very important for us because this is my very first company, right? And before this, I was in the Navy for 6 years, right? So I've had a lot of things to learn, right? Be it from branding to strategy to operations, logistics, so on and so forth. So yeah, by being in a couple of accelerator programs, right, like Grow and Plug and Play, it is definitely helping the company.
Yeah, I see. How about your collaboration with the institutions or the labs that could help you, people with the food science knowledge and expertise? Yeah.
Yeah, so we are not a brewing company anymore. When we started, we were just a brewing company, but COVID hit then, and a lot of things happened. We were predominantly a B2B company, and then we had to shift to a D2C platform whereby we had our web store up and everything. And then COVID also made COVID and Zoom made the world a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Right. So then when things happen, right, and that it's not within your control, like you cannot force it, right? I cannot force like a B2B platform to actually buy my product because they are struggling as well, right? So what we did was we restructured the whole company and we shifted towards expanding our impact. So we won't just be brewing beer. We're actually going to bring non-alcoholic beverage into the market as well. And we will not just be working with bread food loss. We're actually going to start working with like your corn, your wheat, your rice, your fruits and vegetable, stuff like that. So, and we will ingredients into other forms of beverages, at least for a start. We are also looking at repurposing our own production waste because when you do make beer, you do have spent grains. And then that is something that we are actively looking into how we can transform it as well. And we are possibly going to make it into either a pancake mix or like a protein bar. So again, all this would not have been possible without the support we have gotten. And we are going to work with companies like FIRC, Bright Science Hub, Innovate 360, and even Incubator. With regards to all our R&D. So right now we have raised our pre-seed fund. We are halfway through. And, at least with the pre-seed funding, the priority will then be to actually build an R&D team within CRUST itself. Yeah, so that we can constantly look at wastage, right, and then find new purpose for it.
Interesting. So from a Navy background, business background, business management to really running your own startup, what are some of the challenges that you have faced, the difficulties that you have faced? Yeah. And how did you overcome them?
I haven't really overcome every one of them. I'm still learning, right? I would like to believe I'm still young, right? But okay, being in the Navy, it teaches you how to be a lot more disciplined, right? Especially with your time and your resources, right? I'm honestly very used to like waking up, working, going back to sleep. The sort of lifestyle, because when you're out at sea in the Navy, right? That's pretty much what you do. You wake up, you work, and then you just go back to sleep, and then you go on and on and on that sort of schedule for days, sometimes even months. So yeah, so that is where the Navy has helped. And then with regards to business management and everything, again, I'm not an expert in any field, but I'm more or less a jack of all trades. I try to learn as much as I can, and yeah, I mean, all I can say is I'm trying my best, and I am doing my best. And yeah, I mean, we have reached like when I started the company, it was just myself for a good 7 months. Yeah, about 7 months. And then from my friend, my poly friend joined me as my COO in November last year. So he's been with me ever since. And then, when we started out, 1 people to 2 people, and then right now we have 5 people already in the company, and we have 2 more coming by the end of the week. So yeah, I mean, honestly, all I cope. I mean, there has been a lot of struggles because when you have to learn a lot of aspects, right? I needed to learn how to do marketing. I needed to learn like the operational aspect, right? I needed to learn technology as well. I needed to learn the R&D aspect of things, right? So yeah, I mean, I haven't solved every single issues that I've had, but I'm constantly learning and improving, of course. And yeah, I mean, all I can say is I'm trying my best, and I'm doing my best.
I see. Wow. Thanks for that. And also, share with us what are some of the key strategies in terms of funding, innovation, or even people in scaling up an impact business like yours?
Okay, we in terms of funding, we were bootstrapped for a good 16 months, right? I was quite adamant about bootstrapping at least for the start because quite a number of startups do fail because they bring in funding a bit too soon, and then they delegate the work out a bit too soon, right? Especially for the founders, right? And because I'm inexperienced in that sense, right? So I had to bootstrap, learn as much as I can. Let's not look at funding up until I reach a certain stage where I know I'm confident enough to delegate, right, and still be able to assist, to be able
How
to
do you
manage
know
everything
when
on
that
top.
stage is? When do you know? Where did you realize? Yeah.
You don't really
On
know.
the
I mean, you just learn, right? You learn as much as you can, right? And then when you are a lot more comfortable and you know that, okay, I have known enough of this already, right? And then it's time to grow the other part, or at least shift my focus towards something that's more important, right? And then yeah, it's about prioritizing, I guess. I'm still learning, right? But what, like, when I started out, my job scope then is very different to my job scope right now. Like every single month, my job scope actually changes a lot more, right? I don't do the same things that I've done like back when I started the company in April, right? I do a lot more. Nowadays, like, my main focus has been fundraising, right? Talking to investors, the R&D portion, and then just the strategy part as well, and then looking at growth, yeah, and then new markets as well, and new product, yeah. So this has been my focus right now. But when I started out, I was the one doing the brewing, the bottling, the carrying of boxes here and there, doing the deliveries, yeah. So it has been a very interesting journey, yeah. So yeah. So that was that. So right now, in terms of innovation and how in terms of the strategy that we actually use, our mission is to reduce food loss by 1% by 2030, right? And it's by no means an easy feat, an easy thing to do, but how we are hoping that we can actually like achieve our mission, right, is through that inclusion and that unique label project that we are focusing on. So we do have our own products, our own standalone products, whereby we are working closely with RedMart, right? And you can see their logo on our label as well. But we are actually going to focus on supermarkets and hotels and just
Okay.
other bigger corporates, right? Whereby we're going to do a white label project with them, whereby we want them to look at CRUST as like their one-stop solution center, right? To repurpose their food waste into a product that they can then call their own. Yeah, so that is the main idea. We want in the future, right, for 5-star hotels and like supermarkets to have a product of their own made from their food loss, basically, so that they know that when they do have food loss, right, they can confidently actually repurpose them, instead of just discarding them.